now we are on episode 2. Now this episode was definitely more engaging than the previous episode. There was a lot going on in this episode, mainly because of the relationship between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. And honestly speaking, this was really the best part of not just this episode but this show, especially to see how Kate Bishop looks up to Clint Barton. Like she sees him as his role model. Sorry, she definitely idealizes him. At the same time, you have Clint Barton who simply doesn't care. He just wants to go back to his family, go back home to meet his family, have dinner with them, have a great Christmas, etc. And that way, I think this episode and also the show really dived into his character more than the actual Avengers movies did. I mean, the Avengers movies were also pretty decent in terms of like portraying his character, but this show was definitely like it went in further. They dived in further, so that's what I really liked of this show, not just this episode, but the show. And speaking of recognition, I really love the scene where like Kate sees a bunch of like cosplay, like costume or a bunch of people who have like dressed up as their favorite superhero, and they're like taking selfies. I think writing autographs for the fans of those superheroes. And then you have like Kate Bishop telling Clint how his problem is branding, and that is actually really true. It's so true how she tells him that his problem is branding, but then Clint's like, my problem is you, and she's like, no, your problem is branding. And that was actually a pretty hilarious conversation they had with each other. And it's actually so sorry, it's actually so true to see that, because honestly Clint Barton really needs to like pick up his game and really needs to brand himself better. I mean, obviously he's not the strongest Avenger, but he certainly deserves some more amount of recognition than he does. But then later on, we like in the later episodes, which I'll be talking about, we realize why exactly he doesn't brand himself. And we just basically get to know him better in the further episodes. And I think there's this another scene with like this scene, and I think it's something about like New York LARPers. There's some kind of like cosplay event like that, where like you have to like cosplay some character and fight with each other or something. I think that scene was okay, but there wasn't really much going on. Just we saw a little bit of his like fight moves, Clint Barton's like combat skills with a sword, given that he was Ronin and he used a sword back when he was Ronin. So maybe that was something that scene had to offer. But then there's also the actual fun, like the really real fun scene when when the tracksuit mafia, they actually capture both of them. Well, they first captured Clint in a very hilarious way by like hitting him. I don't know where exactly, but they hit him with a bat, and like they take him, tie him up. Then you have Kate Bishop try to rescue him, but then she also fails miserably. Then they both get captured. That was a very fun way to get captured. But the tracksuit mafia, and the tracksuit mafia themselves are also pretty funny, pretty fun to watch, especially when they keep saying bro, bro. That's when you really cannot take them seriously, regardless of how powerful they might be. And I think looking at the final ending of this episode, where they both get captured by the tracksuit mafia, makes me look forward to what happens in episode 3, which I'll be talking about soon. So until I talk about episode 3, I'll see you next time once again.